Hey everybody, it's Garen Cohn with American Warrior Radio. We're spending a few minutes here today with Troy Cicito, better known as the musical artist Sabo. How you doing, Sabo?
Doing good, Garen. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time.
Thank you for
I know you're a busy guy, you're an entrepreneur, a musical artist and all this, but for the benefit of everybody that's watching this, give us a little biographical thumbnail sketch of some of the things you've done. We know you're a soldier.
I was a soldier.
Once a soldier, always a soldier.
True
Come
that,
on now.
True that, true that. Okay. Well, basically, like you said, I'm an Army combat veteran. I did 5.5 years in the Army as a tanker, 19 kilo. I did 2 tours in Iraq. I did 1 tour in Afghanistan as a civilian, private contractor.
Well, back up a second now. After your tours, your combat tours, you had a few citations and commendations, and you even have a Purple Heart.
Correct.
So this is not just a easy walk through the desert type thing. You were out there in the mix.
No, it was not. I did 2 tours in Iraq. Got banged up a couple times. I did the first tour in Iraq. We was in a battle of Najaf, and then we was in a battle of Fallujah. For those that keep track of all that, with 2-7 cab. And then my second tour around, I did.
Now, if I interrupt,
sure.
Fallujah was supposed to be an in-out, get the job done. It turned out in this long, elongated battle.
Yes. Actually, both battles were supposed to be in and out. And the job was a test for us because, as far as the tank company, we made history basically mobilizing as a tank combat unit in an urban area. That was the first time where they really used tanks maneuvering around buildings. And then we changed the Army doctrine on that battle, and then I guess we did such a good job in our unit that they called us back for the second fight in Fallujah to assist the Marines.
Which was more of the same but on a larger scale?
It was more, definitely a larger scale, bigger city, and more advanced insurgents, I would say.
And it's interesting, anybody that's watching, there's a great program on the military channel about the Battle of Fallujah.
Yes.
And it shows a lot of tanks.
Yes.
Very possibly you're in that movie and you don't even know it.
Probably, but everything that's came out in regards to those fights have been kind of lean and geared towards the Marines. So I'm hoping to see what the special that they got coming out here shortly. It's more of an Army point of view of what we actually did, because not to kind of, you know, go, okay, Marines did their thing, Army did our thing, but we was all in the same fight, but they called us to assist them and help them. We call that in the front lines a 911 call. They called us to assist them take over back Fallujah, and we did our thing, and they came back and relieved us on site, and we took off from there. I think it was like 4 weeks long or something like that.
Yeah, it was a long time, a lot longer than the 72 hours they originally expected.
Exactly.
So you made it through there, you made it home, brother. Thank you so much for your service in the Army, service to our country. When you got back home, you kind of worked your way back into the mainstream as far as getting a job and what have you. But you've always had music.
Yes.
You've always had your music, and you express yourself through it. It's even, you've said in the past that you use it as a way to cope.
Correct.
With all the stress and everything you endured from that.
Correct.
How long you been in the music business? How long you been making music?
I've always been in the music. Growing up with a musical, I guess you could say, family, they've always kind of geared me towards that. But I really started taking it serious on my first deployment in Iraq, and that was 2004. That's when it really came down to, okay, now it's time to, I got something here, now it's time to run with it. And I got a lot of soldiers involved with it, and that's how NSA Entertainment came about. It was just a group of soldiers from different backgrounds, and I guess you could kind of say it was more of a street background, but we all put everything aside, gang-related colors or whatever, we put all that stuff to the side and became more of a unison to the music.
And NSA is your record label and your business name. What's it stand for?
It stands for Never Struggle Again.
Never Struggle Again. That means a lot right there.
It means a lot.
3 letters.
That's it.
And so after you got out of the military, you went to work as a private contractor here in the States.
Correct.
Doing security and things like that.
Yes.
But you had a yearning to get back over with your brothers and sisters. What happened next?
Well, let's backtrack. Before I even thought about taking that step, I had to focus on rehabilitation. I had to focus on a lot of rehab, physical therapy.
Because you got physically injured as well
Yes.
as the post-traumatic
Yes.
stress disorder.
My main thing was my headaches and my back, and I had to endure a lot of physical therapy to get to the level where I can say, okay, I can actually go back to Afghanistan or Iraq, wherever, and pump out another tour. And that took approximately almost 3 years. And once it got before that, when I realized, okay, my body's ready, I'm mentally sound, I can pump this out. That's when I decided to take the private contracting route, and I found myself in Afghanistan, guarding the United States Embassy.
You were guarding the embassy as a private contractor, working under the Department of Defense, basically.
Department of State.
Department of State. Okay, big difference between the DoD
Yeah.
and Department of State. What were some of the differences between that detail, that tour of duty, and obviously being a tanker is one thing, but what about the general feel of it and how you perceived the threat level?
The threat level was the same. The threat level was the same.
You got a target on your back.
Definitely a target on the back. We're basically in Afghanistan. We're the #1 embassy that the insurgents want to attack. So the target value was the same. It was different wise. It's basically rules of engagement, I would have to say. I mean, we were more strapped down where we couldn't engage as we were as I was as a tanker unit. It was basically shoot first, ask questions later. So I would probably say that the training value was, to believe it or not, was extensive prior to going to Afghanistan with the Department of State. I was surprised. I didn't think it was going to be that crazy, but they prepped us.
Clearly defined the rules of engagement, which you figured were way dialed back from when you were on active duty.
It basically, we were there showing a force, showing a presence, and that's all we were there. But we were highly trained to whether once everything if anything would pop off, we could react as a quick reaction force. And then that's basically that was our main job, was to oversee the local nationals who were the first line of defense, oversee them, and then we would react to any issues that would come about.
And speaking of the active duty forces, it's been in the news a lot. Women in combat. This is a new challenge for our military to tackle.
Yep.
Based on your experience, both as a combat warrior on active duty and also a private contractor, essentially doing a lot of the same things as far as training and readiness, what's your opinion as to whether or not women are or should be in those situations?
Well, it's definitely a touchy subject. It's a touchy subject, being in combat arms. And what I mean by that is, women have always been involved in our operations, whether it's supply or whether it's medical field,
Or even in
finance, convoys. They've always been integrated in some shape, way, or form. When it comes to actually being in a combat orientated, where it's male dominant, I kind of see where it I don't even know how to explain it. It basically puts a reverse effect on our daily operations, because in a tank there's only 4 people that operate a main tank. So if you and we're out there for an extensive time, like you said, 4 weeks in Fallujah, we was out there constantly in the fight. So if you put a female out there dealing with that stress effect, I really don't see how it could work. But at the same time, I'm pro. I'm saying, hey, if they can basically, their qualifications match our qualifications, why not? If they can do it, hey, more power to them.
And just like it's been said in the news, a lot of guys can't even do the jobs that are restricted for women even getting involved in.
Trust me, we've had a lot of fat bodies, I guess you could say, that were there who could barely even do the job themselves. So if the female takes place and say, hey, I can do the job better than you, more power to them.
Well, I appreciate your feedback on that, because we're going to be following this subject up on American Warrior Radio for some time to come. Generally speaking, women almost have every opportunity that men have in the armed forces right now.
Yes.
Other than some very select career fields. And there's very good reasons for that, but I appreciate your opinion on that.
No problem.
Let's touch again on your music. And you got some awesome CDs here, folks. Tell us about your latest right now.
Well, my latest material, I just released the mixtape, which what we have now, a Soldier's Prayer Street Raise. It's geared towards more of the urban demographics, but my military music is a Soldier's Prayer Military Praise, which touch bases on missions, hardships that you got to deal with overseas. So I released that November 11th, which we all know is Veterans Day.
Yep.
And so far it's doing good. I have no complaints.
Outstanding. And y'all got to listen to this. There's another one that I want to highlight real quick. You wrote a song for an ex-soldier who's going around the country. Tell us a little bit about that, and tell us about the song you came up with.
Well, he's not an ex-soldier.
He's not?
No.
He's just doing this on behalf of soldiers.
He's an ex-Marine.
Yeah, oh, yeah! I stand corrected.
Right, because you know how that conflicts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a soldier, I'm a Marine. Well, he's an ex-Marine.
Service rivalry.
Yeah, exactly. He's an ex-Marine who has been out for a long period of time, but he's always been involved within the community. And basically, one day he just decided, you know what, I want to bring awareness to our nation when it comes to PTSD, when it comes to a veteran standpoint of view on what we deal with on a daily basis once we get out the military service. He decided to walk off all 50 states. Now, the question is, how do you walk all 50 states when you got Hawaii and Alaska, right? Well, he coordinated with cruise ships to basically, when it comes to Hawaii, he's technically going to walk around the cruise ship the whole time that the ship is going to Hawaii. So I mean, you know, but his name is Matt McQueen or McQuan.
And you wrote a song, though, brother. You wrote and produced an awesome song called
The Walk.
The Walk.
Which
y'all got to listen to this. It's got some real meaning.
Surprisingly, I'm glad that it's taken that nationwide, even international wide range that it did, because I don't like to take full credit, because I co-wrote the song with another buddy of mine, and my producer produced the beat. So all of us came together. I pitched him the idea of what we were doing, and that's how The Walk came about. And then, thank God, it got the recognition it did, because it's for a good cause.
It is, and it's really heartfelt too, the message that you're putting out there with that. Touching back on your latest, though, because you've got several albums out there right now. Tell me about your favorite track on this one.
Oof, on this one,
you got to have a favorite.
There's a couple. Reason being is with this project, I reached out to a lot of artists, with Redcon 1, with local artists.
Redcon 1, Soldier Hard.
Yeah, Soldier Hard. And
you guys have collaborated a lot in the past.
Definitely. We got a lot of work out there for all our veterans and troops still serving. But with this one, I don't know. I can't. I'm kind of biased, because I like them all. I like them all, because each song has. Well, first of all, I recorded well, 95% of my material I recorded in Afghanistan during my latest tour. So a lot of the songs that are on the mixtape and the album, they touch me in a different certain way. So I like each individual song basically equal. So I don't know.
So that was one of the ways you pass the time and learn how to cope. I mean, your wife is back home. She's pregnant.
Correct. And
you're over there serving our country in a different capacity, but still with a target on your back.
Yeah.
And you get back over here. What's going on lately? You're back to work, but the SCRA, Servicemen Civil Relief Act, ain't all it's cracked up to be.
Right.
But you did get back with the same employer and got some employment, not where you should have been when you left.
Well, I don't want to elaborate on that. It is what it is. I don't want to elaborate on that, but I mean, basically, I was promised my position back before I left. Once I got back, which is law. Once I got back, technically, they withheld their end of the bargain by getting me with the same company, just not my same position.
Gotcha. So that's something we need to work on as a nation, recognizing the dedication and service and sacrifice our warriors are making, particularly the Guard and Reserve and contractors like yourself. When you come back and the job ain't the same, that's not right.
But to play devil's advocate, I can see where they're going with it because it's security. It's a 24-hour rotation. So you can't really save somebody's spot for 8 months, 12 months, however extensive the deployment is, for that long period of time, and then everybody else, it brings more stress to the rest of the guys because they're waiting for you to come back. So I can see where they're going, but I mean, it is what it is.
Well, brother, you've always been a great example, and one way you've shown that is by volunteering with AVET Project, and I'm sure other groups. I mean, you're featured on, this is one of the placards we put up when we travel around. Just tells everybody a little bit about American Warrior Radio.
Is that me right there?
That's you, brother.
That's me right there.
That's you. But you're always putting it out there for your brothers and sisters in arms. And you're, thanks to AVET Project, you're going to distribute some more T-shirts at some of your events, some of your concerts you got going on, some 5-Hour Energy. And for everybody that's watching, Sabo's also, you can hit him up. He'll get you some. You come see him, you'll get some of this. 5-Hour Energy, well, it's not 5-Hour, it's Fighter Energy. Fighter Energy by Brian Smith, 6-year Navy guy, before you got out of the Navy. So those are some of the things that you've done, but you've also blessed us with your appearance at various parades that we've gone into, singing as we go through, and been very well received. We had you up on a short tour up on the Space Coast. Appreciate all that you do for us.
Appreciate everything you guys do.
Yeah, well, it's about a brotherhood, and it's about working together to make it happen. But Sabo, how can people find out more and maybe get a sample of your music?
Well, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. All they have to really do is to go to www.nsa/entertainment.com. You'll find everything you need, from my military bio to my music bio to my latest material, free downloads. Everything you need is on that website. Holler at me. I'm an open forum, as you can see.
nsa-entertainment.com.
Correct.
Folks, Garen Cohn, American Warrior Radio, having spent a few minutes with one of my heroes right here, Sabo. We'll catch you next time.
Salute.